The 1962 film Lawrence of Arabia is often remembered for its sweeping vistas and unforgettable score, but beneath the visual majesty, there is an actual story exploring the political landscape of World War I as it reverberated across the Middle East. While the Ottoman Empire and its participation in the Great War is often overshadowed by what was happening on the Western Front, this was a necessary area for shaping the geopolitics for the next 2 centuries. And by dramatizing Lawrence's role as a liaison between British intelligence and the tribes under Prince Faisal, director David Lean anchors not only an individual legend, but also the notion of imperial strategy and duplicity within the war on public psyche. Lawrence of Arabia follows the titular T.E. Lawrence, a brilliant but admittedly difficult lieutenant in the British Army who finds himself caught between his duty to his country and sympathy for the Arab revolt against the Turks. Lawrence is eccentric and quick to anger, yet his intelligence and blunt honesty win the prince of both Prince Faisal and the people around him. What begins as an advisory role soon transformed into something far larger, as Lorab adopts Arab dress, earns the respect of Faisal's men, and masterminds daring and exciting guerrilla campaigns. But victory comes at a price. Lawrence is celebrated as a hero, but the violence of the war leaves him shaken, as is much the case, and his idealism is crushed when he learns of the Sykes-Picot Agreement, which was Britain and France's secret plan to divide the Middle East. By the time that he helps capture Damascus, tribal rivalries and imperial interference have doomed his dream of Arab independence. He leaves the titular Arabia disillusioned, his legend hollowed by betrayal. What makes David Lean's film remarkable is how it frames both Lawrence and the desert around him. The desert isn't just a backdrop, but a living force. It's beautiful, but merciless, an arena that magnifies human ambition and human folly alike. Lawrence himself mirrors this landscape. He's enigmatic, larger than life, yet somehow also deeply conflicted. His rise from some officer to, frankly, a near mythic leader, and his subsequent fall into disillusionment is rendered with a scope and intensity that even now, 60 years later, few films have ever managed to match. In the end, Lawrence of Arabia is both a sweeping war epic and a haunting character study. It dazzles with its grand scale, yes, but lingers because of the questions it raises about loyalty, ambition, and the cost of imperialism. It's a tragedy. So one of the things I see talked about a lot in regards to Lawrence of Arabia and brought up a lot is Alex Guinness's performance as Prince Faisal. He did in fact use brownface in his performance. However, Guinness did genuinely resemble Faisal to the extent where people familiar with the prince genuinely thought that Guinness was him during the shooting of the movie. Whether you think this is acceptable or not is totally up to you, but I do think that's really interesting. Also, people really wanted Lawrence and Ali to kiss. Okay, thanks. Bye.